Don't come over. The text lit up my screen while I was already outside her building. Brooklyn rain came down hard, bouncing off the sidewalk, soaking the hem of my coat before I even decided what to do next. I stared at the message. Another one followed immediately. I met someone. My thumb didn't move. Then the third message arrived. I think I'm choosing him. I looked up at her apartment window. Warm light, movement behind glass, like nothing was breaking in there. I climbed the steps anyway, not because I didn't understand, because I needed to hear it from her face. The door opened before I knocked. She was already there, my girlfriend, except she wasn't alone. A man stood behind her, holding his phone like he had just stepped out of it instead of into my life. She didn't step forward, didn't reach for me, just held the door like it was a boundary line. "You shouldn't be here," she said. I blinked once. "You texted me to come over." I didn't know how else to say it. The man shifted slightly behind her. "Hey," he said, awkward, too casual, like I was late to something I wasn't invited to. I looked at him, then back at her. "You replaced me by text," I said. She exhaled. "That's not what this is." "What is it then?" Silence. She glanced at her phone again like it could help her speak. "I met him online," she said. I laughed once. Sharp. "Online." She nodded. "You met me in real life," I said. She didn't answer that. The man cleared his throat. "I didn't mean to—" I cut him off. "You didn't do anything. She did." That made her finally look at me properly. Not apologetic, not conflicted, decided. "I think this is what I want," she said. The door stayed open, but I wasn't inside anymore. The rain got louder after that. Not outside. Inside me. I stayed on the step like moving would make it real faster. She didn't invite me in, didn't close the door either. Just stood there with him behind her like he belonged in the frame now. "I didn't want it to happen like this," she said. "You did it anyway," I replied. Her grip tightened slightly on the door handle. "That's not fair." I let out a short laugh. "Fair?" She glanced back at him briefly, then forward again. "I met him online," she repeated, like the sentence explained itself better the second time. "And I met you in a kitchen," I said. "In person, like a real life." She didn't respond. The silence told me more than her words. The man shifted again. "Look, I'm not trying to—" I held up a hand. "Don't." He stopped. Not because I mattered, because she didn't look at him either. That was new information I didn't want. "I think you're making this bigger than it is," she said. That hit wrong. "Bigger?" I repeated. She nodded, already convinced. "It's just different now." "Different for you," I said. She hesitated, just a fraction. Then, "Yes." No softness in it, no regret either, just confirmation. I stepped back one stair. She didn't stop me, didn't follow. That was the part that made my chest feel heavier than the rain. "You called me here," I said quietly. "I didn't know how to end it otherwise," she replied. "So this was your ending?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Then, "I think so." The man looked between us, uncomfortable now. "Should I—" "Yes," she said immediately. Not even looking at him. He left, down the stairs, past me. Gone faster than anything else tonight. When he was out of sight, I stayed where I was, waiting for something else to happen. Nothing did. She just closed the door halfway, not on me, but not open anymore either. The hallway felt smaller after he left, like the air didn't need to make room for 3 people anymore, just 2. She leaned against the doorframe now, arms folded, not defensive, just settled into a decision she didn't plan to undo. "I didn't think you'd take it like this," she said. I let out a short breath. "How did you think I'd take it?" "Not like this?" That's not an answer. She rubbed her thumb against the edge of the door like she was steadying herself, but her voice didn't waver. "I met him online. she said again, slower this time. It felt easier. Talking to him felt easier. I nodded once. Because I was hard? She hesitated. That hesitation was louder than anything she'd said so far. I didn't say that, she replied. You didn't have to. Silence. The building creaked somewhere behind us, a distant elevator ding, life continuing like nothing had shifted. You're not listening, she said. I almost laughed. I'm listening perfectly, I said. That's the problem. She straightened slightly. This isn't about choosing you or rejecting you. That's exactly what it is. No, she said quickly. It's about connection. It's different with him. I stared at her. Different how? She looked away for the first time. That was answer enough. He doesn't know you, I said quietly. That's the point, she replied. That landed harder than I expected. You're saying I know too much? I'm saying it felt heavy, she said, finally looking back at me. With you, everything felt already defined. I nodded slowly. So I was the real thing that got boring. No, she said, sharper now. That's not what I meant. But she didn't correct it fast enough. That mattered. A door opened down the hall. Someone laughed. Life again. Normal life. Not ours anymore. I stepped back another stair. She didn't follow, didn't reach, didn't fix it. I should have said something earlier, she said. Yeah, I replied. You should have. A pause, then, I didn't know how, she said, and that was the closest thing to truth she'd offered so far. The hallway light flickered once, then steadied, and someone else stepped into it. Not him, not her. A woman, same face, same structure, same eyes, just arranged differently, like she was built from the same blueprint but decided to stand straighter. She looked at my girlfriend first, then at me, then at the situation. I got your text, she said flatly. My girlfriend sighed. This isn't... It is, the woman cut in. That stopped her. For the first time tonight, my girlfriend didn't have a reply ready. The woman stepped closer, stopping beside me, not behind, not in front, just aligned. I'm her sister, she said to me. I nodded slowly. I figured. She's not great at endings, the sister added. I noticed. My girlfriend snapped. Can you not do this right now? The sister didn't even look at her. That alone felt like a choice. You didn't tell her before bringing him here, the sister said. It wasn't like that, my girlfriend replied quickly. It was exactly like that, the sister said. Silence snapped into place, the kind that didn't need volume to hurt. The sister finally looked at her properly. You replaced a relationship in real time and expected it to feel clean, she said. My girlfriend's jaw tightened. That's not fair. The sister tilted her head slightly. Neither was what you did. I stayed quiet, because I wasn't sure where I belonged in this conversation anymore. The sister glanced at me. You didn't know? She asked. I knew something was wrong, I said. I just didn't know it was already finished. My girlfriend stepped forward. I didn't say it was finished. The sister turned slightly toward her. You did, she said, just not out loud. That hit differently, because it wasn't an accusation, it was translation. My girlfriend exhaled sharply. You always do this. You make it sound worse than it is, the sister replied calmly. No, I make it sound like what it is. A beat. Then she looked at me again. You don't have to stay for this part, she said. That was the first sentence tonight that didn't feel like pressure. Just space. My girlfriend laughed once. It didn't sound real. It's not that deep, she said, like she was trying to flatten the whole night into something manageable again. Her sister didn't react. That silence alone was louder than anything else. It is to them, the sister said, nodding slightly toward me. I didn't correct her, because I didn't need to. My girlfriend stepped forward again, frustration slipping through now. You're acting like I betrayed someone, she said. You did, her sister replied immediately. No, I didn't. The sister exhaled slowly. You made a decision without including the person it affected. My girlfriend's voice sharpened. I didn't owe a conversation I didn't want to have. That sentence hung there, clean, cold, final. I looked at her properly then, not searching anymore, just seeing. So, that's it? I asked quietly. She hesitated. For the first time, she actually hesitated. I just feel something different with him, she said again, but weaker now, like repetition could soften consequence. And I don't? I asked. She didn't answer. That was the answer. Her sister stepped slightly closer to me again, not protective, not aggressive, just present. That's not love, she said quietly. My girlfriend snapped, Don't define my feelings. I'm not, her sister replied. I'm describing your actions. Another silence. My girlfriend ran a hand through her hair. This is exhausting. I nodded once. That part I agree with, I said. She looked at me quickly, like that wasn't the response she expected. I didn't want to hurt you, she said again. But you did anyway, I replied. That time she didn't argue, didn't defend, didn't explain, just stood there with the truth sitting between us like something neither of us wanted to pick up again. Her sister spoke softly now. You can't undo this, she said. My girlfriend looked at her. I know. Then she looked at me and said it properly this time. I'm sorry, but it didn't reach me as apology. It reached me as conclusion. The apology didn't change anything. It just ended the argument. My girlfriend stepped back first, not toward me, not toward her sister, just away from everything. I can't keep doing this conversation, she said. No one stopped her. Her sister didn't. Neither did I. That silence told her what she needed. She grabbed her keys from the counter inside the apartment, already half turned away from us. I didn't plan for it to go like this, she said again, softer now. Her sister replied without emotion. Most people don't plan their endings well. That made her pause at the threshold, just for a second. Then she shook her head. I'm still going to Boston, she said. With him? I asked, even though I already knew. Yes, she said again. No hesitation this time, just repetition of the choice. And then she left. The door clicked shut behind her. Not loud, not dramatic, final. The hallway felt different immediately after, less tense, not calmer, just emptied. I stood there a moment, not moving. Her sister stayed where she was, leaning slightly against the wall now like she had been holding the room up and finally let it settle. You okay? She asked. That question didn't land like sympathy. It landed like structure. I let out a short breath. I don't know. That's fair, she said. We stood in the quiet for a few seconds longer. No more explanations, no more defending her, no more versions of the story trying to fix itself. Just the aftermath. You're not staying here tonight, she said suddenly. I looked at her. I didn't say I was. I know, she replied, but I'm saying it anyway. A pause. Then I nodded slightly. Why are you still here? I asked. She shrugged once. Because someone should be here who isn't pretending this didn't matter. That should have felt heavy. It didn't. It felt like the first thing all night that didn't try to erase what happened. The apartment felt different without her. Not empty, just quieter in a way that didn't expect to be filled again. Her sister didn't leave. She just moved deeper into the space like she had decided it still counted as somewhere she could stand. You should sit, she said. I'm fine standing. That's not an answer, she replied. I exhaled once and sat anyway. Not because she pushed, because standing felt like pretending I still had somewhere to go. She didn't sit immediately. Instead, she checked the kitchen, opened a cabinet, closed it, like she was making sure the room still functioned after everything that broke in it. You hungry? She asked casually. I looked at her. After that, A small pause. Fair, she said. That almost made me laugh. Almost. She finally sat across from me, not too close, not far, just positioned. Like distance mattered, but not avoidance. You didn't tell me your name, she said. I blinked. I didn't think it mattered right now. It does, she replied. That was all. No pressure, just certainty. I hesitated. Then, it's Lila. She nodded once. Okay, Lila. It sounded too normal for how abnormal everything else had been. We sat in silence again. But this one didn't feel sharp. It just existed. After a while, she spoke again. You're not going to understand her decision, she said. I don't think I want to, I replied. Her gaze stayed steady. That's fine. A pause. Then, but don't confuse not understanding with not recovering, she added. I looked at her properly then. You talk like this a lot? I asked. Only when things break, she said. That answer landed differently, because it didn't try to fix anything. Just name it. Outside, somewhere far down the street, a car passed. Life continuing like nothing had shifted. But inside this room, something had stopped pretending. You don't even know me, I said quietly. Her response came without hesitation. No, she said, but I know what you just went through. And somehow, that felt like enough to stay. Morning came without ceremony. No apology texts, no explanation, no reversal, just light slipping through the blinds like nothing in the world had changed except everything that mattered. I sat on the edge of the couch, still fully dressed, like sleep had refused me out of principle. Her sister was already awake. Of course she was. She stood by the window, arms folded, watching the street below like it might say something useful. You didn't sleep, she said without turning. It's hard to, I replied. She nodded once, like that was expected. I made coffee, she added. I didn't ask for coffee. I know, she said. I still made it. That made me pause. She set a mug down on the table in front of me, didn't push it closer, didn't insist, just placed it there like an option that existed regardless of acceptance. I stared at it for a moment, then took it, not because I needed it, because it was something normal I could still touch. She's already on her way to Boston, I said quietly. Yes, she replied. No reaction, no judgment, just fact. I took a sip. It was too hot. Or maybe I was just too numb to register temperature correctly. She didn't even hesitate, I said. Her sister finally turned. People don't usually hesitate when they've already decided privately, she said. That hit cleaner than anything emotional. Just structure. I looked down at the mug. So I was already out of the decision before I walked in, I said. More like you were already out before she told you, she corrected gently. Silence. That version hurt less, but it stayed longer. Her sister sat down across from me again, not closer than yesterday, but not farther either. You're trying to understand it like it's solvable, she said. I need it to make sense, I replied. It won't, she said simply. A pause. Then, not in a way that helps you. That should have felt cruel. It didn't. It felt honest enough to stand on, and for the first time since the door opened last night, I didn't feel like I was still waiting for her to come back. The apartment stopped feeling like a scene. It started feeling like a place, not mine, just a place where nothing new was happening. Her sister was still there, not hovering, not pushing, just existing in the space like she understood that silence after collapse wasn't empty. It was part of the process. I set the mug down, didn't finish it. She won't call, I said. Her sister didn't look surprised. No. That single word landed clean. No cushioning, no hope stitched into it. Just reality. I leaned back against the couch. So that's it, I said. It's what she chose, she replied. I let out a short breath through my nose, almost a laugh, but not quite. It feels too simple, I said. Most endings are, she answered. That made me go quiet again. Outside, a delivery truck passed. Someone laughed on the street. Life doing what it always does, continuing without permission. I keep thinking I missed something, I admitted. Her sister finally looked at me fully. You didn't, she said. That was it. No elaboration. But somehow it still felt like closure. I nodded slowly. A long pause settled between us. Then I asked quieter, "Why are you still here?" She didn't answer immediately. Not because she didn't know, because she was deciding whether I needed comfort or truth. Finally, because you're not supposed to be alone in the middle of something that just erased you, she said. I looked at her. Really looked this time. Not through shock, not through betrayal, just her. You don't know me, I said again, but softer now. No, she agreed, then added, but I know what it looks like when someone gets left behind in real time. Silence. This one didn't hurt. It settled. I leaned forward slightly, elbows on knees. So what happens now? I asked. She stood up, finally, not leaving, just resetting her stance in the room. Now, she said, you stop measuring everything by what you lost. A pause. Then, and start noticing what didn't disappear. She looked at me. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was being replaced anymore. Just still here.